Kamu simpel saja, intinya simpel apa? Itu mental. Jangan bukan ini bapak kamu usaha.
I have four.
Have you seen this video? I can make the lights go out. I can make the wooden boards go rat-tat-tat. I can make the teeth fall out. Without expensive, it's terrifying. Have you seen this video? I can make the... I go down because of my dirty laundry. Yes, because of my dirty laundry. I go down. And I say, hey, don't you play that song? Tell me when they turn it up on your radio. I got you 100 seconds and I'm ready. What can I say? What can I say? Hey, won't you play that song? I'm gonna turn it up on the radio. I got 200 seconds and I'm ready. What can I say? And what can I say? Oh, you don't. Hope you don't mind, but could you tell me
Where the hell is the book?
Maggie fell in love with a boy who looked just like Homer. One day, Marge left Maggie at the park to play in the sand. A chubby boy came barreling down the slide toward her, just in the nick of time. The boy saved Maggie. The moment Maggie saw the boy's flowing hair, she fell in love with him instantly. She thoughtfully helped him fix his hair. Then she took off her own bow and gave it to him. Since they couldn't speak, they introduced themselves in a unique way. Soon, they began a sweet romance, even in an ordinary setting like the park. They could imagine all sorts of incredibly romantic dates. Hudson blindfolded Maggie to make her laugh. However, when Maggie blindfolded herself, Hudson vanished. It turned out his mom had come to pick him up. That night, the cartoon characters from the picture book entered Maggie's dreams. The next moment, Hudson's head appeared in the entire room. The next day, Maggie carefully coordinated her colorful diapers. She dressed up, looking forward to another date with Hudson. She even enhanced the milky clothes on her body. While waiting for Marge in the car, Maggie didn't forget to check her makeup. But to her surprise, it was Homer's turn to look after her today. As they passed that park, Maggie turned the steering wheel to get Homer's attention, but Homer didn't notice her at all. He took her to a different park instead. Upon arriving at their destination, Homer jumped into the grass nearby. All he knew about was delicious tacos. Maggie saw many children there. She tried to spot Hudson. She made her way alone through the dangerous playground equipment. Then she snatched Nelson's skateboard and used it to launch herself in the air. She finally saw the wall. She waved frantically when Homer arrived and scooped her up. An angry Maggie threw the taco right in Homer's face. That night, a melancholy Maggie drank an entire bottle of milk. She drew a picture of Hudson and asked him please to help her find him, and she didn't even sleep a week over. And when Marge walked into the room to fix her hair and wipe away the dark circles, it was another day of Homer taking care of her. They missed the party and Maggie couldn't take it anymore. She snatched the steering wheel and drove the car to where she wanted to go. Upon arriving at her destination, Maggie quickly unbuckled her seatbelt. Just then, she saw Hudson walking toward the tow train. She hurriedly jumped out the window and into the stroller, but she quickly tripped and fell. Meanwhile, the conductor had already started the little train. Even as Maggie charged through every obstacle, she was still a step too late. Luckily, Hudson spotted Maggie. He immediately ran to the last car of the train and tried to pull her aboard. He took off the bow tie from his chest to create some extra reach. Although Maggie managed to grab the bow tie, they ultimately failed. Heartbroken, Maggie stopped chasing and sat down beside the tracks. Actually, the train tracks formed a circle. When the train came around again, Hudson pulled Maggie onto the train. Excited, they began their date all over again. A few days later, Marge took Maggie to the park. When Maggie and Hudson saw each other, they couldn't wait to run toward one another. Hudson's mom walked over to chat with Marge. The most pressing question on her mind was whether Maggie had been vaccinated. But their romantic time together was short-lived. Maggie and Hudson were both taken back to their respective homes by their mothers. Maggie missed Hudson terribly. She pulled off the horse's tail and did Hudson's hair. To keep Maggie's longing, Marge took her to Hudson's house. His home looked incredibly wealthy. The floor tiles came from a church in Venice. The bathroom was even more luxurious. They had hired top-notch workers to renovate it. Hudson immediately ended his video conference the moment he saw Maggie. The woman began investigating how many ex-boyfriends Marge had. In contrast to her thick file of ex-boyfriends, Marge had only ever dated Homer. For Maggie, her pacifier was the most important thing in the world. The woman felt that the pacifier was full of germs that would make her son sick. In addition, she thinks Maggie's hairstyle is too sharp, so she stuck marshmallows on it. Marge was furious when she saw this. To put an end to this unequal relationship, Marge hid the invitation to Hudson's birthday party. By the time Maggie found the invitation, she'd already missed Hudson's birthday party. Marge complained that Hudson's mom always made her feel inferior. Although Maggie couldn't speak, she expressed her disappointment in her mother through her actions. In the end, Marge relented and took Maggie to see Hudson. During this time, Hudson had also been suffering because because he hadn't seen Maggie. Although neither set of parents liked the other, they were willing to make changes for the sake of their children.